Christians have been on edge for centuries, watching for this prophecy. A terrifying future where technology and control dictates every purchase, every transaction, unable to buy or sell because one will not submit to the Antichrist. But what if there is a historical precedent? Maybe there is a shadow of the mark that points to the future mark of the beast. Could one of Rome's most twisted emperors hold the key to unlocking one of the central secrets of Revelation? To dig up the truth, we need to travel back in time to Rome in the 1st century AD, during the reign of Domitian, a man who wasn't satisfied with mere political power. This tyrant believed that he was God on earth. Domitian didn't just rule as an emperor. He inscribed "Domitian Caesar saves" onto every coin that passed through Roman hands, forcing people to proclaim his divinity with every exchange. Imagine the control, every single coin throughout the empire, declaring allegiance to a tyrant who thinks he's a god. But Domitian didn't stop at coinage. He hunted down Christians who dared reject his self-proclaimed deity, singling out those who refused to bow and branding them as enemies of the Roman state. In Ephesus, one of the most vibrant cities of the ancient world, Domitian took his obsession to frightening heights. He built a temple unto himself on top of the square of Ephesus, where other gods were worshipped. He even erected a towering statue of himself on top of that temple, believing that it was proof that he was the Lord of Lords. Because the other Roman gods did not stop him from putting his temple above theirs, he would use that as proof of his divinity. To deny Domitian was to risk everything. Worship at this temple wasn't optional. It was a public test of loyalty, as we shall find out at the Agora. Now here's where this story veers into eerie prophecy. Right beside Domitian's temple lay the state Agora, a thriving marketplace, the Wall Street of the ancient world. But here was the twist. Domitian controlled access into the Agora. During his reign, the Agora of Ephesus had an entrance fee, a fee that wasn't just monetary. Was a sacrificial offering to the emperor himself. After making your offering, you'd receive a mark on your forehead or hand. This wasn't an innocent stamp. It was proof of allegiance to Domitian himself. Without it, you couldn't trade, couldn't buy, couldn't sell, cut off from the economy completely. A mark on the forehead or hand. To buy or sell? Sound familiar? But there's more to this chilling history. Domitian's mark wasn't just about control. It was an all-out war on God's word. The Jewish Shema, from Deuteronomy 6:4-9, instructs believers to bind God's commands on their hands and foreheads, a sacred symbol of faith. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one Lord. And thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thine heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy might. And these words which I command thee this day shall be in thine heart. And thou shalt teach them diligently unto thy children, and shalt talk of them when thou sittest in thine house, and when thou walkest by the way, and when thou liest down, and when thou risest up. And thou shalt bind them for a sign upon thine hand, and they shall be as frontlets between thine eyes. And thou shalt write them upon the posts of thy house, and on thy gates. Domitian's mark was more than a physical sign. It was a blasphemous counterfeit, replacing devotion to God with enforced allegiance to a false god. Fast forward to today, and we find ourselves in a digital revolution that's transforming how we conduct commerce. Cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and Ethereum have emerged, promising decentralized and secure transactions beyond the reach of traditional banking systems. In response to the rise of decentralized cryptocurrencies, several governments are developing their own digital currencies, known as central bank digital currencies, or CBDCs. China's digital yuan is at the forefront of this movement, Unlike decentralized cryptocurrencies, CBDCs are fully controlled by central authorities. Every transaction made using the digital yuan is recorded and monitored by the CCP. This level of oversight allows for unprecedented tracking of individual spending habits. Authorities can see where you spend your money, how much you spend, and even control how you spend it. Imagine a system where your access to funds could be restricted based on your behavior, social standing, or compliance with governmental policies. Funds could potentially expire if not used in a certain way or time frame. You could even be completely cut off from the economy. You were deemed a threat to the government. While this might sound like science fiction, the technology exists today. The integration of digital IDs, biometric data, and financial accounts could pave the way for a system where buying and selling are tightly regulated, where no one can buy or sell unless they subscribe to the new digital currency. Such control echoes the ancient practices of Domitian's time, where a mark was required to engage in trade. It raises a critical question. Can governments that implement their currency cut off Christians from commerce if they refuse to take on a similar digital mark? The story of Domitian and the rise of government-controlled digital currencies like the digital yuan invite us to consider how control over our finances can impact our freedoms and faith. As we navigate these developments, it's essential to stay informed and vigilant. Thank you for joining us on this journey. If you like this video, please click on the next video for more shocking Bible revelations.